Hi guys, me again. It's Simone from Goblin Fruit. I've just recorded, and you've probably already seen the video of all my Lush makes. So I'm still wearing them. Still wearing the last dress that I was wearing when the order that I'd made from Pitt Trading had arrived, my fabric order. And so I thought I would just jump quickly back on and show you what I ordered. But I've also realized that I forgot in the last video with this dress, because there'd been so many different little things that I'd changed on this dress, and I'd listed off 10 different things and I forgot some. So on the pattern, I didn't even mention, I cut a size 10. I'm pretty sure I cut a 10. And I cut a C cup because the top has different cup sizes. I did do a little bit of tweaking, I think, on the waist measurement and pulled it back out a bit. And that also helped get it to match up with the size of the skirt. So it's not exactly the pattern size. I also took in a whole heap of extra fabric on this neckline, which probably would have been fine if I hadn't cut the top on the bias on the front. On the back, it's on the normal, most stretchy around the body fabric. But on the front, it's as it's cut on the bias, it doesn't actually have a lot of stretch on the bias, this fabric. So this whole front panel doesn't stretch very much, and I've taken a lot out of the darts on here to get it to fit really. I think it fits really nice now, but it was sort of bagging out a little bit and I wanted to be close. That does mean that without the zip in the back, it's very hard to get on enough. So that's why I'm still wearing it. I'll pop the pattern, I can't remember now. I just did it, but I put the pattern away. So it's a Vogue pattern on the top, it's a Butterick pattern on the bottom. You can't see the bottom, but I'll pop the pattern number for the top down below if you're interested. And the cardigan was another make from another video. And it's gotten hot in here again, which is fabric from Pitt Trading, which is what this next lot of fabric is about. Look, I segued and stuff. I constantly have to drink tea while I do these videos. My voice just goes horrid. I think I get quite tense. I'm still not very comfortable with the video thing. Anyway, so I did an order maybe 2 weeks ago. It must have been because it was on the Friday that they released new Remnants, and it's Friday again today. It won't be Friday when I release this movie video, but there will be a new release of Remnants on Pitt Trading in about 2 minutes. Anyway, this lot that I got is mostly Remnants, and I got one fabric for my collection. So I'm working on a new collection for Goblin Fruit, a new lingerie loungewear collection. And after this lot, there's only one more fabric that I'm really looking for, and then I'm not buying any more fabric for a while. Okay, so I'm looking for something in like a jade green, preferably maybe a stretch velvet, mesh, or a lace, very stretchy, for the lingerie range, because there's been a couple of inspiration images that I found. I haven't included them in my mood board, and maybe I'll do a video on the mood board and the new collection another time when I feel more ready. I'm nowhere near ready yet. But a lot of the images that I found had green in them. I might put a couple up. I haven't included them yet because I don't have a fabric in this kind of green, but I'm really having this thing for celadon green at the moment. I really want to paint my kitchen celadon green, which is kind of a grey green. Again, I'll pop another image up. But I also maybe want like a jade green, maybe sort of a light emerald. I don't know, I'm quite open, but I haven't found anything yet. Everything that I've seen is either really kind of quite teal, and I don't want to do teal, or khakis and forest greens and stuff like that. Anyway, if I find that fabric, I'll get it. But other than that, I'm not buying any more fabric. I have got more. This stuff from Pitt Trading is really summery. So I have got more than enough to start working on my summer wardrobe after I finish this year winter wardrobe, and probably find a way to get rid of half of my wardrobe that I already have that I don't wear anymore, because otherwise it's not even going to fit. Okay, let's go. All right, I'll start with the fabric that I bought for collection. So I bought one fabric from Pitt Trading for collection that wasn't a designer remnant. The rest are for me. And this I bought because in the remnants I can't get enough to make it out of collection, obviously. But this I got 5 meters, and I'm thinking a kind of very revealing loungewear-y kind of number. I mean, it's not going to be tight because it stretches this way, but the motif goes that way, so that won't be happening. But it's actually quite soft for this sort of a thing. Sequined, embroidered mesh, which is still available on the site if you want to do it. But yeah, this will be going into collection. Isn't it beautiful? It's really beautiful. And I thought it was a really good price. It's $20 a meter. And yeah, I like buying from Pitt Trading because they, I think in the US you call them a jobber, I think. But I mean, these guys are retailers, they're not really wholesalers, but they predominantly pick up designer excess fabrics. So fabrics that other designer labels can't use. And because they mostly do like lingerie, which requires really small amounts of fabric, I can order other bigger companies offcuts, and it's more than enough for me. And I think that's a really nice way of being a little bit sustainable. So yeah, I think this is beautiful. Next. All right. See, this is all that I got. Oh, hello. Oh, that's nice. I'm getting reminded that I have a power bill. It only came out today, so it's not due, so they can calm down. Now, the only other fabric that I bought that wasn't a remnant, but I only bought a meter, was this Viscose Jersey, I think. I can't remember, actually. It's charcoal. It's not black, and it's listed as charcoal, and it's just such a beautiful drape. And that'll probably just be a singlet or something for me. I have an idea for this, but it's difficult to explain, so maybe just I'll make it and then you can see it. So that's that one. Now the others are really quite small pieces. They're all very summery weights. I'd say whoever the designer that this, I presume that all of these things from this release came from the same designer because they really had a very similar look, and it was all very sort of swimwear, caftan, beachwear, Australian kind of, maybe even a little bit Zimmerman, sea folly, I guess, kind of a look. Which, from them, I probably wouldn't, I mean, I like some Zimmerman things, but I don't really do Australian beachwear boho. So I'm quite glad to get the fabrics for it, and then I can make the styles that I want. But these are really, really small pieces. So I'm looking at ways to kind of make a garment out of several different fabrics and it not look weird. I have got a big Pinterest board on it of like all sorts of different ways that it's been done that I think look good. There's a lot of color blocking, like it is very, very common, if you're using multiple different fabrics to do color blocking, which doesn't, it's not really so much this boho thing, but for the boho thing, then you've got laces and embroidery on glazes and stuff like that. And embroidery on glaze is what I've got. And cut work. So I do a video. I'm going to be playing with, get my words together. I'm going to be playing with the idea of doing multiple different fabrics in the one garment. I particularly saw this shirt. I found this photo on Pinterest, which does have 2 different fabrics. So one fabric is the body of the shirt, and the other fabric is the collar, button placket, and the peplum, and the belt. And I liked that, and that'll work for these fabrics. So yeah, if you're interested in that, and I'll do a video on it, how to do fabric mixing in the one garment successfully, because it can look really bad. And I do, oh, it's a nice way to say this. I do see a lot of sewers and crafty type people do some patchwork type stuff that is just not what I would wear. And for some reason, when I think of mixing fabrics in the one garment, or, you know, scrap busting type garments, I immediately think of these oversized patchworky t-shirts, and it's not what I want. It's not what I would wear. So I have to think of other ideas. I don't know, does that happen to you? Do you get the wrong thing stuck in your head? So every time somebody mentions this, all you can think of is that thing that you don't like. It's all, yeah. So I'm trying to erase that from my head to get a better picture, like the shirt that I mentioned that I quite like. Okay, let's get on to the fabrics. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 little remnants here. Okay, so the first one is some cotton, like mattress ticking. It's a linen cotton blend in this blue stripe, which I think would be just a nice base for something. And yeah, there is 70 centimeters. I have measured a couple of these to sort of see if it's exactly 70, and generally, or whatever it is, generally they are a little bit generous, which is great. So I've got a tiny little bit more to play with than I thought. But yeah, I think there's enough. I mean, there would be, like, I've done a boxy top out of a 50 centimeter cut. So a 70 centimeter cut, I can at least make just one top of all of the one thing, but I want to be more adventurous than that. So that's the striped mattress ticking in the linen cotton, which is going to be great for summer. And I do have another striped linen mix fabric in my stash. I think it's a linen mix, but it's very sheer. But it's blue and white stripes, but wide stripes. So I think they might be fun worked together. The next one is 60 centimeters by 130, so not very wide. Ivory Windows embroidered silk cotton voile. Pretty. This little piece, it is so soft. Yeah, cotton voile. And I don't have an issue with things being see-through in summer, like a see-through shirt. Just wear a good bra or a swimsuit underneath. So yeah, I'm not thinking about lining it. I think you need to see all of that beautiful, like, cut work. The thing that there's a couple of these sort of cut work / broderie on glazed fabrics, and probably the thing that most came to mind is this shirt, which is a favorite of mine, and I've worn it to the point where it's nearly, like, it's not feeling well. It's a vintage piece that I bought at a little vintage store in Sydney. It has, like, this, I love the tiny little collar, like, it's a tiny little bit at the back and then folds over. This very, very high, tiny little neckline that's very high. It's actually a little bit too small for me in the neck, but I pretend that it's fine. And this tiny little press stud that holds it together. The back of the button placket is just a plain, actually feels like an organdy. It's quite stiff. Cotton. Oh, that's a bit dusty too, I think. I haven't worn it in a while. It's in the sacred objects kind of pile. But yeah, so I'm hoping to make a pattern off of this, and maybe use one of these fabrics for that. But yeah, I love this top. So that's one of my ideas. And yeah, I don't think there's quite enough of this one to make that top. In fact, I know, no, there probably isn't. But so there's that one. Silk cotton voile, feels gorgeous. Next one is this embroidery. I think this is more of a silk cotton organdy. Maybe it's stiffer. Oriental heavily embroidered silk chiffon. Oh, it's silk. 50 centimeters, so it's a tiny little bit. I don't know how well you can see that embroidery because I'm holding it up against myself in this vivid yellow top. But it's really pretty. Bit edgy, kind of. I don't know. Can you see? Is that the back or the front? It's actually really quite perfect on both sides. So I think you could go with either. I feel that that's probably the front. But yeah, with peonies, I guess that's the oriental side of it. Peonies? Chrysanthemums? Chrysanthemums. So that one. If you have any ideas on what to do with these tiny little things, let me know. Because I'm still scratching through for ideas. And then something that I can match with this and the next one is just this piece of, it's plain black. Plain black cotton voile. Yeah, it's just a really nice quality. I probably should wash it, but I'm too scared. Fine cotton voile, because it is going to shrink a little bit and soften. But I'm too scared. And the stiffness will make it easier to sew. Oh, I don't ever wash stuff. But yeah, so just plain black, but a bigger piece. So, yeah, like in that shirt that I mentioned, this might be fun to, have the embroidery and then have the other pieces just in the plain black. Like the placket and that sort of thing. But then the other one that I've got is this one. She's gorgeous. What side is what? Again, can't really tell. So it's double-sided. It's on both sides. 60 centimeters. Black Lydia embroidered border silk cotton. Lovely. But I think that this would be really nice along the neck. Just even in like a boxy top for summer. And then that just came... I mean, I have noticed I can line it up so that these little boxy parts cover essential bits. But I think that will work. There is a top in... a little extra bit something. In the Dior cruise collection. The latest collection, which I think is 2021 cruise. Or resort, or whatever you want to call it. I think they call it cruise. And there are some really beautiful little tops hidden in there. I've really, really looked hard at this collection, and I think I'm going to do a video on that as well, because I really love it. But in the meantime, the video of the show, because now, designers have to think about how they do their shows a little bit differently, because, you can't have an audience, and this show was done in Italy. Which I don't think is typical for Dior, but they do travel. I mean, cruise collections are normally shown in different places, aren't they? They're like holiday kind of. I don't know. I'm not part of the rich crowd. I don't know these things. But it was shown in Italy. There was no crowd, but the video is for me, to my mind, of all the fashion videos that have come out, it's my favorite, because it's not gentle and soft and models walking, which a lot of them are. That seems to be kind of the mood. This is very passionate. The band, the dancers that are there, all the lights, that's good. I really, really enjoyed it. It did get a bit of a dissing on YouTube comments that I read, but I really liked it. Anyway, there are some pieces in that collection that I think might be kind of fun to remake. So I'm going to do a little video about how you would go about making some of those pieces if you wanted to do a homage to Dior. Okay, 2 to go. White. Well, I think they were listed as ivory, but they're really, to me, more just off-white. What does this one say? It just says embroidered cutout cotton. I prefer white over ivory, but these are very pale, so I'm pretty happy with that. But again, would be cute for the shirt, but or like a border trim, or there's a dress that was in the Elie Saab collection 2 seasons ago. Maybe I'll show a photo, with lots of cut work. It was stunning. I certainly do not have enough fabric to make that dress. There's an enormous amount of fabric in that dress, where the cut work that's in it, I think from briefly looking at it, is actually built into the fabric as pieces. It's not, we've got the plain fabric and then we're going to cut out a piece of cut work fabric and put that in. I think it's, all done in one, which, if you're looking at those price tags, you can do those kinds of wonderful things. But yeah, so this one. And then the last one is the white version of the window pane one that I just showed you. Or ivory, a tiny little bit. So pretty. Again, like that border across the top, for summer and swimwear, or even through here with some thick straps. Pretty. And this is ivory Lydia double border embroidered silk cotton, 60 centimeters. Yay! So that's it for my fabric buying for a while. I think I have plenty of fabric to see me through winter and summer, unless I really get it in my head that I want to make something particular. But I think I have everything for everything. I really do think I have everything for everything. So let's see, I'm on a fabric buying ban, except for that green collection fabric that I might find, or I might not. Yeah, hope you've enjoyed that. If you have, and you want to see more videos from me, interact a little. If you do like and subscribe and hit the notification bell thingy, it encourages me to keep going. Because it does take a lot of time to do this kind of stuff, although I very, very much enjoy it. And, I don't know, tell your friends something. Talk later.